Man, I refused my bank for debt consolidation, and I really wanted to work with them. But they weren't trying to work with me. So I kicked them to the curb. Why you should refuse debt consolidation from the banks. I just got out the gym. I'm about to go on a little rant because I'm thirsty. I'm like a dog. I need to pant. That was a whack freestyle. I'm not Drake. I'm sorry. Check it out. I seriously just got back from the gym though, and I was thinking, banks really get on my nerves sometimes. So I bank at a couple of banks. I have Community America. And I also have Wells Fargo. I've been trying to get away from Wells Fargo for a long time. They have my house mortgage, they have my car mortgage, they have my business account, but I also have a few accounts over at Community America. I'm always told that you should have an account with the credit union because they're able to do things that other banks are not able to do. I'm also in real estate. I know the benefits of having relationships with different banks. You can leverage them. There are certain things that other banks can't do that some can do, yada, yada, yada. So with this in mind, I was shopping around for debt consolidation programs. I had 5 credit cards that I want to consolidate into one payment. One which just got ridiculously out of control, has an incredibly high amount on it, and it has a 24% interest rate, and another one also has a 22% interest rate. Those are my 2 highest cards. Whenever I have made money from real estate and affiliate marketing, I teach people how to make money online. You can check the links on everything below on how I make extra money online. But paying these things off, I got tired of paying this incredulous amount that is just simply going to interest and not principal. But paying off the credit cards is definitely a priority. So what do you do when you're paying $200 to $300 a month on credit cards and it's all going towards interest only? You don't go bankrupt. You're going to mess up your credit for 5 to 7 years. Don't just stop dropping late payments on your credit cards and stuff, because you're going to jack up your credit history and you're never going to be able to do anything with your credit cards again. The banks don't want to mess with you, nothing. So if the shoe fits, debt consolidation is a great tool, but it is not for everyone. So I went to Community America, right? Credit union. And I sat down. They liked my credit history. They liked my credit score. They saw that I make payments on time. Everything's looking good. She tells me, hey, yeah, we can go ahead and knock this out. And they gave me the figures for a loan as opposed to a credit card, because some banks give credit cards when it comes to debt consolidation. They just want you to roll everything over with the balance transfer. If it makes sense, do it. So in my case, with the loan, they approved the amount, but it came with a caveat. They told me that I had to close all of my credit card accounts once I moved everything over with the loan. First of all, bank, you're not my mom. You're not going to spank me and tell me to throw away my cereal. I don't know if that analogy made sense to you guys, unless you love cereal like me, Fruity Pebbles. I really didn't like the fact that my bank was trying to force my hand at something that I simply didn't want to do. So I tried to negotiate. I asked the lady, I said, hey, look, if I move everything over into a loan and close all of my other credit cards, you put me and my credit history at risk. And since you work with credit, you should know what you're doing to my credit history. Because if I do that, I now close all of my old accounts, which shows all of my credit history going back to like 2004. And only this one thing will be showing on my credit history. This huge loan that's going to take me about a year or 2 to pay off. That's going to look crazy to the banks. That's going to look crazy to credit card companies. That's going to look crazy to whomsoever. I plan on buying another house, and I plan on using my credit as a tool, as a supplement to help me get a good rate with that. I have a good credit score. So I told them I'm willing to sacrifice the amount of the loan if I can keep my credit cards open. Man, the underwriter looked at me and was like, you a fool. And they denied me. I'm heated. I am really heated. Either they really know what they're trying to do to my credit history, or they don't know. And if they don't know, they're idiots. And if they do know, they're purposely setting me up for failure when it comes to my credit history, so I can't do anything else in the future. So what did I do? There's tons of debt consolidation programs out there. But before you work with these programs, you really need to do your homework. And this is where education really helps. This is where the information that I'm giving you really helps, right? You don't want companies shutting down all of your past credit history to simply just to take out a loan or a credit card. So that's one. Two, make sure that these people aren't pulling out a whole bunch of inquiries whenever you're trying to see if you qualify or not. If you're going to sit at a bank, or if you're on the phone with a credit card, or even if you're just trying to get a car, make sure that they only pull 1 to 2 credit inquiries, because you have a lot of these institutions that just do a shotgun approach and blast out all of your information and get a ton of information back. And now whenever you try to do something later on, when it comes to getting approval for a loan or something, it seems as if you did like 15 to 20 inquiries. And to the banks, that looks like you've been denied many times, and you continue to try to inquire about your credit history. It seems as if you just got denied 15, 20 times. 3, know the terms that you're signing to when you're working with debt consolidation. And that's with anything. You want 0%, and then after your 0% term runs up after a year or 2 or however long, you want to know what that percentage is going to climb up to. You want to know, you don't want anything close to like 20%. You want good rates. Oh, and 4, once you get approved, pay the daggone thing off. This isn't a license to delay your payments to everything else and go spend money on other stuff and say, oh, I got extra money. No, you got it so that you can knock the debt out, so that you can be debt free. That way you can go on about your life and do whatever you want to do. What I did was I looked up a couple of debt consolidation programs, some of which is in my description below. And then I also got something else in the mail. It just so happens that Wells Fargo wanted to offer me a 0% credit card for 15 months. That's a year and some months. That was perfect. The question was, how much am I approved for? And will they allow me to keep my other credit cards once I do a balance transfer over to that new credit card? So I went to my bank, I went to Wells Fargo, I sat down with the lady, and I started hammering her with these questions. And she said, you seem to be very educated when it comes to credit. Yeah, when you come up very knowledgeable with these type of questions and you know what you're talking about, people will take notice, because the average banker, the average individual helping you get approved for anything when it comes to credit will not know these technical things. You have to be ahead of them. And when you're ahead of them, sometimes you're able to call your own shots. I technically got declined at my previous bank at Community America, but I was calling my own shots. I was not going to allow them to handcuff me and tell me that I had to close all of my other credit cards, put me in a situation that I don't like, all just so I could get your loan. I really felt offended by that, and I still do feel offended by that. I'm not stupid. Neither should you be taken advantage of like that either. Just because you're backed in a wall, backed in a corner for a situation, don't just take any offer that somebody gives you. Know your options. So long story short, I'm sitting with this lady at Wells Fargo, and she tells me that I'm approved, and I got approved within seconds. All I had to do was just get the account information for my credit cards along with the interest payments, the interest rates and all that. I gave them to her, the cards that I was going to move over, and they sent me the check. Another big thing right here, if you're going to do debt consolidation, don't just allow the bank to pay off those credit cards with their name. Make sure that they send you the check, or that they deposit the check in your account so that you can then pay your credit card, because the credit card is going to see your name on the payment. They're going to think that you're coming up with this large sum of money so that you can pay off all this credit at once. If they see your bank's name on a check for this whole balance transfer thing in order to pay off your credit amount, they're going to scratch their heads and they're going to say, he's doing a balance transfer. And sometimes you take the risk of your account being closed for moving such a large sum of money from your credit cards over to something else. So another thing that I did was I called my credit cards that I was doing the balance transfers from, and I said, hey, I'm going to be making some huge payments on my credit cards. Do not close them, because I want to keep them open. I always make big purchases. I'm an investor, I do real estate, or I'm in business, or it's something like that, But you want to verify that they will not close your credit cards once you make this big payment. which is the reason why I wanted the amount in my bank account to make the payments myself to the credit cards. I hope I didn't lose you guys. So just follow these steps that I'm telling you about and you won't have any problem. I guarantee you. So that's what happened. Wells Fargo signed a check in my name, deposited it in my account. I had a huge lump sum of money in my account. It was tempting, I must admit. I wanted to go buy a car or buy another house, an investment property or something. But I took that large sum of money, deposited it in my account, and I paid the credit cards off. And because of that, now in my new account that I just opened, I did the balance transfer to that new account. And it's 0%, which is way better than me making $300 a month on a credit card. Another one was like $250 a month on a credit card. And that was just interest only. None of that was going towards the principal. So I know some of you guys have been in the same situations. As successful as I have been, as much money as I've made on the side in real estate, online, I still make stupid mistakes and dumb decisions. And I know some of you guys have too, and it's okay. It's just as far as when it comes to rebuilding, how will you do that? I've made huge, tremendous strides into success and improving my credit, and I want you to do the same thing. You have people like Dave Ramsey who may teach things a little bit different. He has great principles, a lot of things which I apply to myself, but there's other parts of advice that he refers to that I don't necessarily agree with because I'm trying to do things as an entrepreneur. I'm not your typical consumer. So I made a video about Dave Ramsey and what he thinks about debt consolidation. He's a phenomenal dude. I will never discredit him at all. I actually hope to meet him one day. And that's all I got to say about my banks. So I hope you guys learned a lot. Like the video if you have. Hit the little bell icon below. Subscribe to my YouTube channel so that you can always get alerted whenever I push out new content like this. I teach people how to make money online as a side income. I was able to replace one of my jobs with making money online. EmancipationOccupation.com. Go check out my blog. Hit me up down in the comments below. Let me know your experience with debt consolidation if you've ever done it or if you're looking to do it. I would love to answer any questions that you have. So until next time, see you later.